Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. First of all, before I even get into this video, I wanted to show you that my tattoo is almost healed. There is still a little bit of flaking going on, but I'm super excited that it's, we're getting close, and it's really hard to show you, as you can tell. But yeah, I'm very happy with it. It's been almost 3 weeks since I got it, so I'm relieved that the healing process is almost done. As you know, if you have tattoos, it's itchy and you can't scratch your skin or you'll rip out some ink, and it's sunny outside and I can't go outside. I love skating. I would love to go skating, but I cannot, and it's just driving me nuts. And you can't go take a bath or go swimming or anything like that because you're not supposed to be submerged in water for a long time. So it's just really frustrating right now, but I'm just happy. Like, I'm very pleased with the result. And one thing that bugs me, as you know, I couldn't finish the tattoo because we did 2 days in a row and it was just too much. So there's some stuff that's not done right now, like in my elbow ditch. My tattoo artist started the octopus and we weren't able to finish it, so it's a little bit frustrating to see the outline but not the finished product. But it'll just take another couple of months and I'll go back to tattooing. Anyway, I'm not going to talk too much about tattoos today. One of my friends on Facebook asked if I could talk about my upbringing in Germany, so I thought I would do that. Yeah, I was born and raised in Germany, and I didn't leave until the age of 21, at which point I moved to Puerto Rico, and then after living there for 5 years, I lived in Nevada for a year, and for the past 6 years or so, I've been living in Ohio. But growing up in Germany was a lot of fun. I had an older brother who was 10 years older than me, and I also have a brother that is 7 years younger than me. But so for the first 4 years of my life, I lived with my mom and dad and my older brother. And we lived in the middle of nowhere. Like, I'm from a small town of about 25,000 people, and we lived on the outskirts, so we weren't even in the town. Like, we were in a one-family house where, I lived with my mom and dad, and then the other side of the house was my cousin and her family. When I was 4, my parents divorced, and I grew up with my mom and my older brother then. And my dad remarried, and he had another son, which is my brother, my little brother, that I talk about in my previous videos. And I actually have a really good relationship with my little brother, and I love him dearly, and I'm sorry for everything that I put him through when he was little. So some of the things I did in Germany was, just going hunting with my dad on the weekends. Like pretty much every weekend or every other weekend, I would stay with my dad, his wife, and my little brother, and we'd go hunting. In the winter, we'd go sledding and stuff like that. Sometimes we would go on vacations together, and it was just really cool. I also picked up skating at an early age, and I loved doing it. At some point I went a little bit cuckoo and cut all my hair off, and I still went skating, but people were mistaking me for my brother, and whenever I was out in town with my dad's wife, they would ask, like, "Oh, is this your son?" And she would be like, "No, this is my daughter." Like, it was just, yeah. What can I do? What can I say? I did it, okay? I did it. My hair's back on. We're good. Going to school in Germany was also really a lot of fun. I loved it. I got my little Schultüte when I went to first grade. The Schultüte is like a gift that you get from your parents. Sometimes they create it. Sometimes it's just a bought thing, like a bought bag. bag, and they put candy and school supplies in it, and it just to make school a really big deal, because in Germany kindergarten is more like all fun and games, you know, it's all playtime, versus here in the United States I feel like it's more like school already. So when you go from kindergarten to first grade, it's not as big of a deal as it is in Germany, if that makes any sense. Yeah. And yeah, I love going to school there. I went to elementary school from first grade through fourth grade, and then after that, from like fifth grade on, I went to what can be considered like a high school. And the difference is we don't have 12 years of schooling, we have 13. So I went to school for 13 years, and yeah. After that, I started university in a city called Bochum. I don't know, it's a lot bigger than my hometown, that's for sure, but it's not like the biggest city. It's kind of comparable with Cincinnati, about 400,000 people. So that was interesting for me. And yeah, at that point, I kind of I started studying English literature and Spanish literature, and that's how eventually I ended up going to Puerto Rico, because I met somebody there and I moved to be with that person, and we actually got married, which it didn't work out in the long run, but it's all good. We're fine. But yeah, so that's how I ended up living in Puerto Rico. I know some of you have probably been wondering, like, whoa, how old is she? So I was married really young. I was 21, and I was married for 5 years. I'm actually 33 now. I know I don't look it, right? I look like super young. Sometimes when I go to the cinema, they still ask me for like my driver's license, and I'm like, really? All right. I don't have a driver's license. I still go to school. No, just kidding. But yeah, I'm not that young. It's a good thing though. My mom is almost 70 now, and she still looks super young. I hope if everything continues the way it does now, I should still look young when I'm 70, and I'm not going to be mad about that. Anyways, back to what was I talking about? I guess moving to Puerto Rico? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should just skip Puerto Rico altogether. I lived there for a couple of years. I went to university. I studied English, and while I dropped Spanish, I added philosophy on to my major. So I had, I studied those two, English and philosophy. And yeah, I'm now a teacher, and I teach little kiddos, 2nd and 3rd grade, and I love it. I love it very much. But yeah, let me talk about some of the differences between Germany and the United States. Or things that, maybe I should talk about things that I miss. Like, first and foremost, I miss my family. This summer I went there for 2 months, and it was really, really, really hard to come back. I miss them already. My grandma is getting older, and it's harder to say goodbye to her, because you just never know how much time you have left with your loved ones, so cherish them while you have them around. Besides my family and my friends, you know, the obvious, I truly miss German roads, like streets, highways, especially the highways. Oh my gosh. I can't even tell you. For many years I thought I liked US highways. You know, you get people overtake you on the right, people overtake you on the left, and you're just like, okay, where's everybody coming from? You know, you kind of have to really think about what everybody else is doing, and I like that. I thought that was cool. That was like great. You just have to pay attention. But you know what? Like in Germany, Oh, it's so easy to drive. It's so easy to drive because everybody's following the rules. You will never have a person overtake you on the highway on the right side. I've never had that, and I've never had that happen to me. It'd be way too dangerous too, because we have parts on the highway where we can go like, there is no speed limit. Oh, it's amazing. There is no speed limit. You can go however fast you want. So I really miss that. I love to drive quickly because you want to get places. I mean, you just go a little bit quicker. You get here, you're just stuck on the highway forever, and it just seems dangerous. Then again, it's easier to get your driver's license here, so I guess that's a nice thing if you're a young person. Back in Germany, I paid like well over €1,000 or $1,000 to get my driver's license, and you have to like take classes to drive on regular city roads, on highways at night. Who knows what. You just have to take a lot of driver's lessons. And actually, when I had my test, my practical test, the driving itself, not like the theoretical one, I actually failed. And oh gosh, it was horrible. I had to take more lessons and then retake it, so that was another, I don't know, 200, 300 euros easily, on top of the €1,000 that I had already spent to get my license. But considering everything, I prefer the German way of driving and being on roads than what is happening over here. Another thing that I really, really miss is bread. One of my favorite breads is sunflower seed bread, and I can hardly get that here. I really miss the bakeries. When you go through little towns like my hometown, there'd be bakeries, there'd be places where you can just get sausages, there'd be other little shops that just sold cheese, and the makeup of a city, like the planning of towns, is way different. Here I feel it's like more centered around big malls and big shopping centers and stuff, and the small town vibe gets lost, I guess. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm not in a small town here, duh. So I don't know, but it's just, it's not the same thing. Well, I think those are the two big things that I miss. Now, don't get me wrong, I love living in the United States. There are a lot of things that are very similar to where I grew up in Germany. For example, the weather is pretty similar, especially if you consider that I lived in Puerto Rico for a couple of years, where it was like hot, hot, hot every day. Here in Cincinnati, we have the four seasons, and the same way we did in Germany, and it's pretty similar. I love the people here. Overall, I'm really happy here. Yeah, I love the country. This country is so big and so beautiful, and there are so many beautiful places. When I was about 12 or 13, I think, and yeah, 13. Yeah, 13, because it was 1999. My brother was so kind, my older brother and his girlfriend, or yeah, they weren't married back then. But he was so kind to take me with him on a trip to the United States, and we went to the West Coast. We went to all the different national parks. We went to Yosemite, Sequoia. We went to the Grand Canyon and Bryce Canyon, Hoover Dam, San Francisco. Like we saw a lot, and we saw a lot of different places. I'm trying to think what else. Death Valley. Yeah, a couple different places, and it just, the beauty in all these places, and that's just one little corner. Well, not one little corner, it's like quite a big corner, but you know what I mean? Like there's so many more states in the United States, and that's just one corner. It's beautiful here. And I'd love to explore more. I'd love to see I'd love to see a lot of different places, a lot of different big lakes and the Appalachian Trail, and I'd love to hike part of it, but there's just not enough time. Like, every time I think that I would love to travel more, but hey, I gotta go see my family, and I want to spend time with my family, you know, I want to go to Germany in the summers. But I also feel like I'm missing out on a lot because there's so much to see here. I've never been to Chicago. I'd love to go there. I mean, I went there, you know, actually this summer I went there to hop on a plane to go to Germany, but not because I was staying there and visiting. You know, I'd like to explore a bunch of different cities, and especially some states like, I don't know, Washington State, Montana. There are so many great places here in the US. I also love how diverse this country is, or, well, especially like Cincinnati. I feel there's a lot of diversity here, and it's great. I made a lot of friends from different places: South Korea, India, Japan, like, you name it. People are from all over the world. In Germany, there are more immigrants now, and refugees especially. But to be honest, when I was growing up, there weren't that many. And well, there were a lot of immigrants from Turkey, but I never really mingled with people that much. By the way, I forgot to mention, when I was 16, I went on an exchange to Brazil. And I didn't complete the entire exchange year because I was having a lot of headaches, and at that time I kind of missed my then boyfriend, you know, I was 16. But yeah, I came back to Germany after about 7 months or so. But I think that exchange to Brazil kind of opened my perspective. No, not opened my perspective. It broadened my horizon. Is that something you'd say? It just opened my eyes and made me willing to get out of my comfort zone a little bit more and put myself in other people's shoes, really, and think about how they live. And so, yeah, that's just a funny little detail that I forgot to mention. But yeah, I love living in the United States. I also really loved growing up in Germany, and I wish I could just fuse the two and live in both places, but I can't. So for right now, I'm here in the United States. Who knows where, you know, where I am in a year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 from now. I don't know. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you have any questions about my life in Germany or my life here in the United States or anything else, just leave them in the comment section below and I will try my very best to answer them. Also, I really want to thank everybody that has subscribed to my channel and given me likes and just commented on my previous videos. I love you. Thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button, please, because that way you'll be notified for, you know, when I upload my next videos. I will always upload on Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!